impressive as my fortress? It's okay. It's all right. You know, the gate is pretty big. There's no windy kind of entrance. They're not big defense towers. 1, 2, 3, 4 different entrances. They're all pretty big gates. So it's not the best fortification. And the walls are okay. They're not very tall. I mean, it's all right. But no invading army is really going to look at this and think of it as a big challenge. Plus, the city isn't surrounded by a city wall. In terms of defensive structures, it doesn't have that much. It is sitting on a pretty nice hill, dominating its surroundings, but it's not extremely well defended. And in fact, Ovdat isn't unusual in that sense. Almost all of the Byzantine Nabatean cities do not have city walls. They have defensive structures, but not city walls in the same sense. This is not meant to stop an invading army, a proper army.
Can I ask why they don't have?
Yes, but it's going to be I'm going to give you an answer through absence, which is never good. They simply don't have. But we are looking at Pax Romana. These cities started becoming communities and actual cities somewhere in the late Roman period. And in terms of the big wars are over. There's great peace that the Roman Empire is able to bring. And that continues throughout the Byzantine period. The big invading armies, those are all done. What do we still have? We still have here in the edge of the settled world, we do have desert raiders. We have tribes roaming around. The nomads aren't gone. The fact that some of their descendants built this, there are other nomadic tribes. And there's this constant clash, constant conflict between nomads and settlers, always, anywhere around the world. When towards the end of the summer, the grass is completely depleted, your herd has eaten everything they have, all of the natural sources of water that nomads have for their goats and their camels, those are all gone. What do the nomads do? They get together and they ride north and they raid the farmlands. And they raid the farmlands mostly for grass for their herds, sometimes for water. And if they're already there and they're successful, they'll also raid the city or the village or the town. And this happens every year. It happens here. It also happens in Beersheba. You went to Tel Sheva. Where's the well?
Outside the gate.
Outside of the city wall. Why?
Because they don't want the people to get inside.
We don't trust you guys. Come to the water if you want, but stay outside, under the guard tower. We have guards now. And the same kind of relationship happens here. Yes, my great-great-great-grandfather might have been a Nabatean trader and nomadic, but I'm settled down, and I don't trust you guys. So I have a defensive structure in case you decide to raid. You ring the bell, and the residents of the city gather their immediate belongings, run into here, close the gate, and the raiders might be causing some trouble and havoc, but nobody loses their lives. And the military unit in the Roman legion's camp, which exists here, we're just not visiting it today, they'll take care of the problem. And then everybody can come out. So this is the mamad, the shelter. It's not really a fortress, which means throughout most of the year, if nothing happens, this is wasted real estate.
Would they store precious goods here or things like that?
You run with whatever you can, depending on how much time you have.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Now, what's really nice about this area is what?
For the ceiling, sir.
What ceiling?
That's what I'm asking. Is it covered?
No. It's this. What you see is basically it,
Okay.
which means this might have been a great place for a market. This might have been a great place for gatherings. There might have been horses here on show. You can do all kinds of things with this real estate, but it's ready to be a shelter if you need it. And just like every structure in this city, there's not a square centimeter here that isn't diverted into some sort of cistern. And this is just an example, because it collapsed and we can see into it. But every square centimeter in this fortress ends up in the cistern. It rains here twice, 3 times, 4 times a year. But every drop of rain that falls during that short time finds its way to some sort of storage. Every house, every structure, every street, every gutter, every spare area in this city gets diverted into a cistern. So what's the drinking water source of the city of Ovdat? Cistern water. It's true in Ovdat, it's true in Shifta, it's true in Mamshit, which we'll visit later on. It's true in each and every one of those cities, except for one, maybe two. Okay? Cisterns, that's what people drink, and that's important to remember when we come to our next stop. Questions? No questions?